Okay, very good evening to you. Welcome to this restorative stretch session with me, Rob. Okay, right, here we go. Some rules for this class. What I want you to do is find a nice, quiet room for you to be able to do this workout. So, close the doors, let somebody else know you're taking part in a restorative training session, and just take some time out for yourself. Put some nice, cold, and calming music on just for you to just relax to and enjoy. Now, all of these exercises, they work the following. We're working off hand movements, and we're going to be holding these stretches for around maybe 2-3 minutes, maybe even slightly longer as well. Okay, find yourself a drink. Let's work it through. Is that better for you guys if I go that way? There we go. Nice. Okay, so from here, find yourself a space. Looking good. Okay, so check around one way, check around the other. Make sure you've got plenty of room. Check up above your head as well. Just make sure you've got plenty of room overhead for yourself as well. Okay, from here, we've got the doors closed. Give yourself some space. Let's work out. Let's go for it. Okay, so from here, we're going to just stretch across and just get some movement through our body. Nice. Easy movements going side to side. Looking good. Okay. Nice. We're going to stretch up nice and high up towards the ceiling now. Up high and reach. Big long stretches up and through. Nice. And from here, we're going to work on our prancing feet. So our hands down by our side, coming up high onto tiptoe, coming back down again. Nice high movements all the way through. And from here, standing on our right leg, we're going to bring our left knee up nice and high. Nice high flexion. Really good work. Nice. Changing legs. Nice high knee movement again. Slow, controlled, easy movements. Looking good. So from here, we're going to work on our prancing feet. Heels kissing the floor, coming straight back up and through. Crown of our head up nice and high to the ceiling. And again, dropping our arms down by our sides. Pronating all the way through. Up nice and high on our tiptoes. And we're curling over the bridge of our foot. So the knuckles are rolling over the tiptoe. And the heel kissing the floor again. Shoulders right back through the plane. Up, high and through. Really nice work. From here, back into position again. Very good. Keep working through that. Keep the head back up nice and high. Very good. Nice. From here, we're going to stretch our arms up high to the ceiling. We're going to forward bend and flex down towards the floor. Slowly coming back up. We're going to stretch back up high again. And again, hips right back. Slow movement, back up and through. Now keep all these movements safe, relevant, and effective for you. So if you can't go all the way down to the floor, that's absolutely fine. Just flex from the hips, drop, and come back up through the plane and stretch again. Down through, slowly coming back up and reach high, and back again. Keep the movement slow and regular for you. Again, what we're looking for is our feet underneath our sitting bones. We stretch up high again and through. Drop down, going back up and through, and reaching high. 2 more here. Looking good. Big long elongation. Dropping back again. Last one here. Perfect. And relax. From there, shaking it out. Okay, so we work off 3 principles here. One of them is relax. So we're going to take our feet out nice and wide. We're going to flex from our hips and we're going to drop down. We're going to fold our arms, pointing our elbows down towards the ground. We have our toes nice and parallel, or even slightly turned in. We're going to drop down. So our first principle is what's called a wet noodle. Imagine a bit of soft pasta. We're just going to let ourselves flop down into this position here. Nice. Number 2 is all about breathing. We're going to work through the back of our hamstrings here, the back of our legs, all the way down through to the floor. Our feet are nice and parallel to each other, our arms folded, and we drop down into this low position. We've got our bottom back, nice, and our legs nice and long. If you need to have a little bit of flexion in your knees, i.e. they need to bend slightly, this is all good. Again, the arms folded, we drop down into position, we have a lovely long lengthening all the way through the back of our legs. From here, we're going to drop our chin on our chest and drop our head down towards the ground. The idea of this restorative stretch class is to restore the body back to its original form of flexibility. And at various points in this, you might find a juddering through the back of the muscles, and you might find some elongation, some pull work in the lower back or in the shoulders. Perfectly normal. You might find it in your feet, your toes, or whatever. So rule number 1 is wet noodle. Rule number 2 is breathing. We're going to take a nice deep breath in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold that breath, and then we're going to sigh out through the back of our throat a big, long, deep breath for 8 seconds. And again, still in this drop position. Slow deep breath in for 4. And then slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, nice deep breath in for 4. Hold that breath. And then slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really, really good. Allow the head to just drop down towards the floor. At this point, you might find this is really, really uncomfortable. This is starting to hurt a little bit. You might want to come back up just slightly. You might want to rest your hands on your shins. Absolutely normal. But you're going to find a lovely pull all the way through the back of the legs. It's a lovely deep stretch. Now, 90% of all back problems, they're caused by tight hamstrings. This is a great little stretch if you spend a lot of time sat at your desk. Just drop down into this low position here. Again, focus on your breathing. Close the eyes. Deep breath in for 4. And slow deep breath out for 8. And again, nice deep breath in for 4. Slow deep breath out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Really good. So this ragdoll position here, arms still folded, still working on your breathing. 4 seconds in, 8 seconds, slow breath out. Find this lovely little doll leg through the back of the body. It could be in your back, could be in your shoulders, could be in your forearms. It could be anywhere in the body. It's designed to work the back of the legs, but you're going to find a whole myriad of things because our body works off a systemic nature. If the pressure is in the foot, if it's in the knees, if it's in the hips. As you work out through these restorative stretches, you're going to find a whole myriad of things come out of your body. It's a massively effective stretch class. Now the third principle, first one, wet noodle, relax into it. Second one, breathing. And the third one is about time. Now the challenge for this ragdoll position is to be able to hold this stretch for about 3 minutes. When you get good, you'll be able to develop this to 4 minutes, and the golden time of 5 minutes for us. You'll find in this stretch as well that your arms start to go a little bit lower. Just make sure that your legs are staying in roughly the same position as where you started. So slightly bent if they need it to be, or fully locked out, whichever works for you. You got the lengthening out through our back, through our shoulders, through our arms, through our legs. Now, if you want the bonus points here, we can turn our toes in just slightly. So the big toes are slightly pointed inwards, and the second metatarsals are nicely parallel to each other. Anatomically, this is the way we're designed. Holding this flexed position here, we'll pull the hamstrings across the fibers, across the three fibers that needs to work. We have our semicisters on the inside, two obliques, our semitendinosus, our membranosus here, and on the outside we have our bicep femoris. That's split up into two sections. Keeping the toes in nice and parallel to each other, and we're going to be able to find that long, deep stretch all the way through the back of the legs. From here we unfold, we place our hands down to the floor if we can reach. If you can't get to the floor, your hands to your feet, your shins, your thighs, or resting onto a chair at this point. What we're going to do is allow ourselves to walk our hands now back up to our thighs or onto a chair, whichever feels comfortable. As you push up, you're going to come up to about halfway. Allow your eyes to blink, get yourself your bearings before you come up a little bit higher and a little bit higher before you come back up to standing. From here, relax it out. From here, you're going to kick up behind you. So you've got a butt kick going on here, your hips driven forward and your shoulders back. Nice, release it out. Go and grab yourself a drink of water. From here, take a little sip, have a drink and relax and come back in. Okay, so from here, we're going to come down into our second exercise, which is going to be our pigeon stretch. So we're going to come down onto the floor, onto a kneeling position here. Okay, to start off with, we're just going to go into a child's pose position. We're going to put our knees up, wide feet together, drop down nice and low, drop your forehead to the floor, then slowly coming back up again. Hips driven forward. From here, we're now going to take ourselves to pigeon. So we're going to take our hands so they're into a press-up position here. We're onto our knees. What we're going to do is take our left knee up towards our left hand. So as the foot comes up, the left knee comes up, the left foot is going to come across the body. And our challenge here is to sit down onto our forearms into our pigeon position. Now from here, the right leg extends up straight behind us. The forearms flop down. We can turn our hands to the palm facing up or palm facing down, whichever feels comfortable. The head drops down to the floor. We open up the lateral side of our hips. From here, our head rests down on the floor. We extend the right leg as straight as we feel comfortable. We're sitting on the outside process of the left leg. And we're pushing the hip down towards the ground, feeling a lengthening on the outside of our left hip. The idea here, resting our forehead down onto the floor or onto our forearms. Now, if you find you can't get all the way to the ground, you can always grab a ball or something to place in front of you for your forehead to rest on, or a cushion, or a yoga block. So drop yourself deep into this position here and rest. Now again, we're going to work on our principles of breathing and wet noodle. So first principle, just relax yourself into here. Give yourself a wiggle and a wobble to drop yourself into the right position. Should feel a nice big deep stretch on the outside process of our hip. From here we work our breathing. We take a nice deep breath in for 4 seconds. And we slowly breathe out for 8. Again, nice deep breath in for 4. And then sigh out a nice deep breath for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, we're going to extend our arms a little bit further this time. Dropping ourselves that little bit lower into the ground. A lovely long extension through the outside of the hip, the lower back. And by extending the right leg here, we can feel a bit of extension through the hip flexor as well. Our forearm is dropped to the floor. Again, we can rest our hands together and place our forehead down on the floor as well, onto the hands. Again, the challenge to try and relax through. Now, when we breathe out, we have a vagus nerve that runs up the back of our throat. Now, the more you can rasp the sound off the back of the throat, the more your body will activate the parasympathetic system. The more we hit the parasympathetic system, the more we hit our rest and digest, and the more that our body takes into the stretch position here and relaxes thoroughly into position. Really nice one. Just relax through into it. Close the eyes, let your head just drop out and relax. Deep breath in and slow exhale out. Really good work. Turn the mat around. Stay where you are in that position. There we go, looking good. Again, drop deep into this position here, forehead drop down to the floor. And again, if your arms will allow you to come forward slightly, allow the drop down through the body. We're allowing gravity to help us out, to let us drop, to relax thoroughly down to this deep position. From here, we're slowly going to bring our hands back to the floor, raising our chest up, coming through into press-up position. And again, take your knees out wide, feet together, and drop yourself down into that child's pose position. Again, hips right back. And relax that. From here, we come back into our press-up position. We take the right knee up forward, and extend the left leg back and straight. From here, we drop down onto our forearms again. Our head dropping down to the floor, feeling a lovely big deep stretch on the outside of the hips. From here, the arms walk forwards again. And we work through our three principles. One, of wet noodle, just relaxing the body out. Two, working on our breathing. Nice deep breath in for 4. Slow deep breath out for 8. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And again, nice deep breath in. And if you feel more comfortable with this, you can extend the left leg further, walking it back behind you. Forehead dropped firmly down to the floor. The arms extended forwards. And you might find at various points that your foot might cramp up. Just allow it to relax. Allow the hip to open up. The purpose of all these stretches is to strengthen and lengthen our muscle groups. We get a nice deep stretch on the outside of the hips. Again, the outside of the thigh firmly down to the ground. The left leg stretched out long. Right, from here we let the arms drop and go further forwards. The left leg again fully extended behind us, the toes pointed behind. And again, encourage your body to completely relax. Allow it to enter into that wet noodle position. Fingers relaxed. The shoulders relaxed. Any tension in our body, just let it go. Let the body completely relax. Rest the forehead to the floor. Again, against this rather uncomfortable position, just breathe. If you need to come out of it, again, keep it safe, relevant, and effective for your training. Keep working through the outside of this glutes, outside of the hip joint, working nicely here. Very good. From here, we're going to come back up onto the forearms. And if you found this tough, then I suggest practicing as well. Any of these stretches that you work through tonight, any of them that are feeling really difficult, I really urge you to do them as a restorative stretch before you go to sleep. It helps to bring down the stress levels in the body and helps you to hit your parasympathetic system, your rest and digest stage, for you to be able to sleep better at night. From here, slowly taking the pressure onto the hands, releasing the hip back out. It's going to feel a bit stiff in the hip joint. Extend the right leg, let it flex and extend again. Then dropping the knees out wide, bring the feet together and stretch and lengthen out through the body again. Back into this child's pose position. The fingers went out nice and wide. The elbows flat down to the floor, the hips back, lovely extension through the lower back, shoulders and chest relaxed. Good work. And from here, again, we're going to find our way back up to standing. And from here, shake your legs out, take a walk out, and relax. And again, grab yourself a little drink here in between, wet your lips, allow yourself to hydrate all the way through. Fabulous. Okay, so from here, we're going to go into our runner's lunge position. So again, take yourself back to the floor. We're going to take our left foot forward and our right leg back. From here, we're going to bring our hands into our hip position here. Now, if you struggle with knee problems or knee issues here, I recommend you grab yourself a cushion or a pillow just to place underneath your knee. This is a nice thick aerobic mat. It's a 10mm yoga mat, so it's nice and soft underneath my knee here. Okay, so from here we're going to bring our hands behind our back, and ideally we want our fingers facing down towards the ground and our hips driven forward. The shoulders retract back into position. We feel a lovely big lengthening through the front of the body here, right through the right hip. The left foot is forward into position, the hands back, and the elbows back through play. From here, the shoulders retract and we hold into our runner's lunge. Now, if we can, we allow our lead knee to bend forwards. We bring our shoulders back into position here. We get a lovely extension all the way through the abdominals. Now, if you join me for abdominal conditioning this morning, you will have found a number of these muscles working really hard. Now, I want you to take check of this back foot. The back foot, we want to have our knuckles down to the ground of our foot and the big toe to the little toe square down as well. Again, the fingers into the small of the back facing down, the hips driven forwards. Again, shoulders retracted back, elbows pulled back into position, right hip fully extended and the left knee forward. All the way through this, try and keep your chest up. So we're allowing the aerobic capacity to be open. So we're opening up through the lungs, allowing ourselves to breathe deep into the base of that chamber. So the elbows in nice and back, chest up nice and high and pronounced. A nice deep breath in. And again, 8-second deep breath out. Now, the real challenge on this is can you close your eyes? You'll find your balance will go all over the place. And if it does, just grab the wall, grab a chair, whatever you need to do, or of course, simply reopen your eyes. It's a really lovely, big, deep stretch. What we're working through is the hip flexor muscles, the muscles that pull the knee up nice and high. The elbows reach out back into plane, the shoulders are back, and the hands into the small of the back as well. If we can now, we try and lean back into it just slightly more. Posture up nice and high, the crown of our head up nice and high to the ceiling. We're going to work one more breathing cycle on here. So nice deep breath in for 4. Slow exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly releasing. So we bring the hands out to the small of our back, hands to the front thigh. If you can reach the floor, then great. If you can't, just wiggle your foot back into position here. So you could be just wiggling your foot back. Okay, so we bring our knees back to the floor. And again, we're going to take ourselves back up to standing. Shake out both hips. And from here, you might find it's got a bit tight in the inner thigh. So just roll out that hip in a clockwise movement. You might find the adductors just having to release and roll forward again. We're going to swap it over, changing the leg over. So, back into our kneeling position. This time the right foot goes forward, the left leg back into position. From big toe to little toe, across the knuckles, flat to the floor. Again, posture up, back up, chest up. Again, if you're finding it uncomfortable under the knee, take a cushion, place it underneath, and take the fingers facing down, the palm of the hand into the small of the back. Allow your shoulders to come back, retract the shoulder blades, pronounce the chest up nice and high. If you feel comfortable with it, you can lead leg can edge forwards. The hips drive forward, the shoulders are back into play. From here, big toe to little toe, flat down to floor, knuckles down. Chest pronounced up nice and high. Hips driven forward into play. And again, if you can take that front foot forward a step further, well done. Maintain posture. Again, crown of the head is up high to the ceiling. Big toe to little toe, flat down to the floor. Again, fingers facing down to the ground. Really good. We're going to work 2 more cycles of breathing. Nice in for 4. And slow exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's quite a long exhale breath. And again, relax and go again. Deep breath in for 4. Hold that breath and slow exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now again, this is going to feel uncomfortable to come out. So wiggle that foot back. You bring the hands to the floor, onto the chair, onto a wall, whichever you need to release out the front of that, the top of that hip, into that hip flexor. From here, slowly releasing, tuck the knees out wide, feet together, drop down to child's pose again, extending the arms far away from the body, elbows down to the floor, lovely extension through the lower back. From here, coming back up to our press-up position, and then into standing. Again, as we come into standing, we're going to circumvent the hips, so we're going to big circle, move that hip again, around a nice big clockwise movement. And again, roll it back around the opposite way. If you're struggling with this, grab the wall or grab a chair for you to be able to do the movement. Well done, shake it out. From here, feet go wide. Again, toes facing in slightly and just dropping down through into that hamstring stretch. You've worked incredibly well today. Circle the arms out wide, stretch up, allow the hips to flex forward, stretch up high to the ceiling, tuck the elbow into the side each time into that vertical archer. Beautiful. Stretching the arms up wide, dropping again. We fold down to the floor. And again, we circle the arms up wide. We stretch. Come back into that vertical archer again. One more time for me, please. Down, cross over, step back up, and release. And relax. Well done. Excellent. Shake out your hips. Now, practice those moves, okay? Always a great idea at bedtime, just beforehand, 5 minutes beforehand, give yourself that stretch movement, okay? It could be holding those again. We're looking at increasing the time from 3 minutes to 4 minutes to 5 minutes each time. Okay, if you found that tight around the hip joints, I highly recommend you take part in the leg spins and tongues with Jenny on a Monday night at 6:30. There's also the mobility method, which is tomorrow morning. That's all about hip movement and animal flow movements. So what we're designed to be human and organisms. Highly recommend that to you. That's 9 o'clock. And again, all of the classes you can do on replay at any time. So take part and go for it. Okay, and Friday morning I am back at 7:35 in the morning and ready for our HIIT 20 class. And then there's a body conditioning class at 8 o'clock as well. And again, join Jenny as well. Tomorrow evening, she'll be here at 6:30 for our HIIT class. Could I just urge you as well to make sure you fully hydrate after the session, okay? Try and get at least a pint of water into your system in the next 20 minutes or so. It really helps flush out the toxins from your body. Any feedback from the classes, as always, put them down in the messages, and we'll try and catch up with you. Really, really well trained. Fantastic session. Thank you for joining me. You should feel a lot looser. Well done, well trained.